Hi, okay, so this is the Tuesday's lesson for grade 9. This is the do now task and then the tasks on assess prep. If you haven't completed any lessons before today, you need to go back and do them. This is lesson 4. You need to go and do lesson 1, 2 and 3 before this point, okay? Because otherwise if you're jumping straight to here, it's going to be a little bit difficult. So anyway, first one is true or false. Pause it and give it a go. But 2 ways to do it. First one is just substitute them in for your x's and your y's. So 2 times 5 minus 5 times negative 3 is 25. And then 2 times 5 plus 3 times negative 3 equals 1. Let's see if that works. So the top one, 2 times 5 is 10. Negative 5 times negative 3 is positive 15. That equals 25, so that works. The bottom one, 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times negative 3 is negative 9. So 10 minus 9 is 1. So that works. So the answer is true. The other way you could have done it was elimination like we did last lesson. So 2x minus 5y is 25. And then 2x plus 3y is 1. Because the x coefficients are the same, we're going to subtract them. So 2x minus 2x, they eliminate. Negative 5 minus 3 is negative 8y. 25 minus 1 is 24. Divide both sides by negative 8. Y is going to be negative 3, which we already know, but that's just another way to check it out. And then you could substitute y in to work out what x is. Right, today's lesson, we're going to be having a look again at elimination methods, but we're going to be having a look when the coefficients are not the same to begin with. So in this first question, we have x plus y is 5 and 3x minus 2y is 5. So none of the coefficients are the same. So what you do is you pick an equation and you decide, okay, I'm going to make either the x's or the y's the same. And it doesn't matter which one. In this question, I'm going to make the x's the same, okay? So because this is 3x, I want to make this 3x. How do I do that? I'm going to multiply the whole equation by 3, okay? So 3 times x is 3x, 3 times y is 3y, and 3 times 5 is 15. Now the x's are exactly the same, I'm going to subtract them. So 3x minus 3x, they cancel out. Negative 2 minus positive 3 is negative 5y. And then 5 minus 15 is negative 10. Divide both sides by negative 5 because we're trying to work out that y is 2. Now that I know what y is, you can use any of the equations. I'm going to use the top one. So x plus, instead of y, I'm going to put 2 is 5. So that means x has to be 3. Okay, so it's still what you done last lesson, but it's a bit of a mixture. Right, in this next bit, what I'm going to do now is I have 2 equations. So I'm going to make the y's the same in this one. So that means I need to times the top equation again by 3. So 3 times 7 is 21x. 3 times y is minus 3y. 3 times by 1 is 3. Okay, now the y's are the same but with the different signs. We need to add them together to eliminate. So you're going to have 22x. This cancels out and that equals 22. So you divide both sides by 22. That means x is 1. And then substitute it into any of the equations. I'm going to pick this one here. So 1 plus 3y is 19. Minus 1 from both sides. 3y is 18. Divide both sides by 3. Y equals 6. And there's your 2 answers. X is 1, y is 6. Right, this last one, a little bit different because this time we have to multiply both equations. I am going to make the x's the same in this question. So that means I'm going to multiply the top one by 3 and the bottom one by 2 and get 2 different the same equations just manipulated. So the top one, 3 times 2 is 6x, 3 times 5 is 15y, 3 times 5 is 15. On the bottom, we're going to have 6x, 2 times minus 2 is minus 4y, and then 2 times 17 is 34. To eliminate, I need to subtract. 15 minus -4, be careful, would be a plus. So that would be actually 19y equals 15 minus 34 is -19. So y is going to equal -1. And then substitute that into any of the equations. I'm going to go and pick this one here. So 3x minus 2 times -1 is 17. So 3x, 2 negatives would make it a positive. Minus 2 from both sides. 3x equals 15. Divide both sides by 3. X would equal 5 for this question. Right, now if you're doing this later, you've got an assess prep task to do. It is lesson 4. If you are joining my lesson new, if you have not completed lesson 1, 2 and 3, either with myself or Miss Beth, you need to go and complete them first before you do today's lesson, which is lesson 4. Okay, so there might be a little bit of catching up to do. If you're up to date, go and try lesson 4.